Hello, friends. I think I'm on. It says I'm on. I've been trying to reconnect. The computer was doing silly things. It's having a day. Um, but the week between Christmas and New Year's, no one knows what day it is and doesn't want to work anyway. So let me turn on my chats to see who's here. See chat. Hello, Patty. Hello. I'm glad you're here. Um, I have so much to tell you. There's so much going on, and it's just been a really fun time in my sewing room. So it was Christmas. Merry Christmas. I hope you had a good Christmas. Our Christmas was really quiet. It was just my husband and we each did our own thing, had some food, and probably watched a movie. Low tonight, it's 35 in Florida. Oh my word. Well, our high is 30, so we're almost meeting each other. And I'm in New York, where there's snow on the ground. Stay warm. Throw another log on the fire. Happy New Year, Marie. I'm glad to see you. Um, let's see. So that was Christmas. And then for me, the day after Christmas, I had an infusion. And it worked schedule-wise because we don't really have Christmas on Christmas. We celebrate early. So yeah, I did that. And then when I got home from my infusion, I was trying to get home in time for the snowstorm because we were having a snowstorm that was having, they were saying 6 to 10 inches. I mean, 2 to 4. I mean, wintry mix. I mean, 1 to 2. I mean, whatever. They had no idea what was coming. So I'm asleep most of the time that I have my infusion, but I was texting my daughter because she and her family were with her in-laws down in South Jersey, which is a couple hours south of here. And then they live a couple hours north of me and they drive right by me. So I'm texting them like, are you in the car yet? You got to beat the snow. Are you in the car yet? They got going later than I wanted them to, but grandma's really cautious. So I was home feeling bleh. Oh, excuse me, changed back into my pajamas, was just having a cup of tea, and they had left my daughter-in-law's father's house, and he just lives east of here, maybe 20-25 minutes, and it wasn't snowing. And they started driving to come toward my house to hit the highway to go north, and they hit a wall of snow, and they called, we're calling to tell you we're coming and we're staying overnight. Bye. So they got caught in the snowstorm. They got here safely as it was just starting. There were a lot of reports of traffic accidents just because it came on fast and strong. Just suddenly lots and lots of snow. But I got an extra day with my grandson. I am so sorry. I have not yawned till I talk to you. So they came and I was feeling kind of gross, but I was no value add to anyone's life, but they were a value add to mine because it was wonderful having an extra evening with my grandson. And then the next morning, babies, they wake up early and this lady doesn't, except when she's on steroids. So I was up early in the morning and an extra whole morning with them before they drove home. So I had a little extra house guest, which was lovely. What is with the yawning, Deborah? Stop it. So that was my day after Christmas. And then also, what I did on Christmas Day was I put together a quilt and I basted it up so that I could just quilt something that was fun and just sit and do that. I'm like, I'm not doing anything else until this is done. This is my sick day or my recovery quilt. So let me pull up a picture of that. Talk amongst yourselves. I just downloaded it. Where did it go? It's coming. All right. So let me share this with you. So I pulled out all of my scrap. I have a drawer that I throw away any 1.5-inch strips that are cut left over from scraps because I cut 2.5-inch squares and 1.5-inch strips and squares. So I pulled out and finished a sweet tooth quilt, which is a cutie quilt. And then I quilt it with all the lovely ribbon candy. And I just quilt and quilt and quilt. And it's lovely. Let's see. Can I move this? Another picture? So this is the quilt that's done. And there's the quilting close up. Doesn't that look glorious? So that's just a really fun quilt. And I don't think I finished it till Sunday night, but that because Friday I was spending time with family rather than quilting, and Saturday I was spending time with family rather than quilting, and Sunday was church and football rather than quilting, so it took longer to finish than I expected. Excuse me. But that's just a lovely giftable quilt, and I love making it, I love quilting it, I love giving it. So that was fun. Let's see. Janet, hello from South Carolina in the cold. Grr. Janet loved the gray background. Me too. Um, and Marie, you love that quilt. Thank you. So did my infusion nurse. So I see a lot of medical professionals regularly, and the nurse, one of the nurses I have, she's a young girl, and I look at her and she just looks like a college volleyball player. She assured me that she only plays like in beer leagues. She didn't play in a athletic conference in college. But yeah, she is a volleyball player. She's just built like a volleyball player, and she's a delight. So I told her I'd be stopping by later with a quilt because the nurse that worked with me on Friday already had a quilt from me. And then I asked Taylor if she had a quilt for me, and she said no and looked confused. So yesterday, my husband and I were running errands, and one of them was to drop off that finished quilt for Taylor. Now, whenever you go to check in at my doctor, at the medical group, you never know where check in's going to be. Like, check in on the first floor. Okay, so I checked in on the first floor. Then I go to the third floor where I go, and then there's another check-in, and then you go to the office, and then there's another check-in, but sometimes one of those is missing, and they send you back down to the other one. Anyway, I went in at the first floor, and they're like, "Oh, go right up." And I'm at the one on the third floor, and she's like, "Yep, right around the corner." So, and then I saw the receptionist there, and she was like, "Okay, we'll bring her out." So much easier to give presents than to check in for the doctor, which was weird. Um, so the nurse came out to the reception, and then the receptionist there, the hallway receptionist, and a couple other people came out and watched her get the quilt. And I love giving this quilt away. A couple other nurses were there that already had quilts as well. And one said, "Oh, the quilt you gave me has Cheez-Its in it, and that's my favorite part." And this nurse said, "Oh, look at this strip here. There is some like VeggieTales fabric in here." She's like, "I have compression socks and scrubs that look just like this." So that was just super fun to make people happy. And now I'm like, so now the receptionist needs a quilt, and the other receptionist needs a quilt. So good thing I have a lot of 1.5 inch strips. So I have all of these 1.5 inch strips, which those are divided into darker, like more primitive. And then I have another whole pile here. Sorry, yeah, I just threw a quilt behind me to block off the mess in the sewing room. I don't know if I'll get them all here. So these are half of the ones that go into another quilt, like the one I made Taylor. So I have plenty to do. I just ordered a couple more bolts of gray fabric so that I can just sew them together. And I figure I'll always keep one basted up for when I'm having a less than fun day and I want to do something, but I don't want to do anything. So instead of laying on the couch and playing solitaire or watching crappy TV, I can just sit and quilt. So it'll be productive day off, I guess. So I have a lot of those to make. Those are all the scraps that I have to sew into squares. These are all the gray squares I have to make another quilt. This is enough for at least one, if not two, quilts. And this is enough for two for sure. So I like that, the gray and the bright, and then I like the cream and the primitive Americana type of darker colors. And to me, I'm really sexist. They go girl boy. But it's still a lot of ribbon candy and a lot of fun. So I have at least 4 more of those to make. Probably 6 more with what's at least 6 more with what is already cut in my scraps, which means I'm just going through bolts of cream and gray fabric, and that's just fine by me. What else do we have to do? So let me go to my list of what to tell you. I told you about Christmas Infusion Snowstorm Company. Oh, I am home until Sunday. My husband and I went and ran a bunch of errands yesterday, like 10, 11 stops or something. We just both had to do things and decided to take one car and work around. And then I came home and I'm like, I don't have to wear shoes. until Sunday. Like, we may choose to go out, but I don't have to. And I love that. And I don't want to say I'm not wearing pants, but I'm saying I don't have to. I am wearing pants. But I can just live in a nightgown, nightshirt, whatever. I'm actually wearing pants. It's fine. But I love the days when I'm home and I don't have anything to do, anywhere to go. And then I can just get all my stuff done. Um, I went up to get a shower this morning, so I did my hair for you. I came downstairs. My husband's like, "Did you want to go out for lunch?" And I'm like, "No, slippers on my feet. I just did my hair nice for you guys. Otherwise, it's just wet hair ponytail and let it go." Um, so let's see who else is here. Joan, it is freezing. Yeah, it is cold here. Stay warm, stay inside and quilt. Hopefully, you have plenty of fabric and plenty of things to do, and nowhere special you need to be. Hello, 25 degrees in Indy. Yep, that's about it here. And lots of wind. Yeah, it's like winters here or something. Who knew? What? Crazy. And Patty, you haven't pulled out your fabrics for the mystery. You need to get it together. I'll talk about the mystery in just a second. Because I was just doing that as I was working up to time to come say hi to you. I was just making another mystery quilt. I started another one. So I have another fabric pool on the website. It'll be going out on social media, more details. So I'll have more to tell you about that. Oh, here's the other thing I wanted to tell you in my introduction. It's New Year's, which is my favorite holiday of the year. I also like Mondays. I like the start of new seasons, like the first day of school, the first day of summer, stuff like that. I like beginnings and putting systems in place. So yeah, you know what that means? It means I'm trying to get organized in my sewing room. Please shoot me. Just shoot me. Shoot me. Because I was sitting here with a spreadsheet open because I'm a geeky disorganized person. And I decided to just list all of the unfinished quilts that I can see right in this sewing area, not in the other half of the room, not put away somewhere, just right here. I'm currently up to, let's see, I'm up to 63 UFOs without having searched for any. I also have a column in there for kits, and I have a column in there for fat quarterbacks, which means it's no wonder I feel so overwhelmed in here if I have all these unfinished things. So I'm now trying finish 2, start 1, finish 2, start 1 type of thing. And I don't know. I want to keep my UFOs under 50, but right now I think I'm going to have to try to keep it under 100 because I just started the list last night and haven't looked for anything yet. So it's going to get worse before it gets better. So anybody else on this organizational path with me where we're trying to finish stuff up? I think what's going to be easier for me to finish stuff up is a lot of it is machine quilting. So I've cleaned out the machine quilting area of my sewing room, and I'm just going to have to be, my husband's home for a few more days. I'm just going to baste up a whole bunch of quilts so that I can sit in that chair over there. This is my sewing chair, my piecing chair, sit over on the quilting chair and just quilt and quilt and quilt and quilt and quilt, which will be good for getting stuff done, but it'll be good for getting stuff out of here. Wow. Yeah. Wow. 63 unfinished. Yeah, if I have less than 200 quilts stashed somewhere that I've already started and at least another 100 kits, no wonder I feel overwhelmed in here. So it's time to go through and be ruthless. I'm either going to make it or I'm not. I'm either going to finish it or scrap it. Just have to make those decisions. So there you go. That's my introduction for today. Brr. And of course, let's talk about what new stuff I brought into the sewing room. Because, it was a downer saying, oh, I have all this stuff. You've all seen I did my hair, so now it's time to put my scrunchie back in because it's staticky today. Okay. I got a present in the mail from a friend. So one of them was to go to my post office box yesterday. So I got some lovely, lovely, lovely Hello Kitty Christmas fabric. Thank you very much, dear friend. Thank you. I have some ideas of what to make. I have a collection of Hello Kitty fabrics sitting on that counter right over there, and this is going to go with it. So thank you. Put that there. I'm just gonna have to throw stuff because I've put myself in just a little nest to talk to you because I'm in my sewing room, trying to get work back in the sewing room. I've been living in the kitchen. Patty, it's better than being bored. I will never be bored. Never. Hold on a second. Writing down something else to tell you. All right. What else did I get new? I got my subscription box from Primitive Gatherings, which I am not canceling. So I got my finishing kit for Thrive, which was the year-long project. I don't know how big this quilt is because it looks like it's 90 inches square. So I'll dig into that sometime. Like maybe when I go to my sister's house, I'll bring this as the project that I'm doing. But isn't that pretty with all those solids in there? When they're not really solids, they're reproductions. So I have that. I got this, which is called Lazy Logs, and it's two charm packs. Now, when my daughter and her wife were here, they have a friend that just had a baby, and they're like, "Do you have a quilt for so and so?" And I didn't, but this came in the mail, and now I do. So this is called Lazy Logs. I have some navy blue fabric for the background. She has a little boy, and these are all red, white, and blue flannels. So I'm going to put this together, but I have to finish 2 quilts before I get to start this one because this is not a UFO. It hasn't been started yet. But this came in the mail. I'm like, look, we have a quilt for so and so for Ashley's baby, who's just not much younger than my 6-month-old grandson. So that one will be started soon. Then Primitive Gatherings had a sale, and to take advantage of the sale, because you can't let a good coupon go by, I got 25% off this fat quarter tower. Do I need another fat quarter tower? Why, no, I don't. But look at this. It's the size of my head, and it is Andover, and it's, I don't know what the fabric line is. Poppy seeds, I think it is. Is that just glorious, or is it me? Yeah, I got that on sale. And in order to get free shipping, I ordered another pattern. It's Oh, Say Can You Sew. Look at all those teeny little pieces. Makes my heart go pitter-pat. Okay, get rid of that box. For Christmas, I got No Fear sock knitting because I'm a kind of a timid sock knitter. So I already know what the next pair of socks I'm going to make in here. I got this from my son's family. So thank you. And from my sister, I got 60 fabulous paper pieced stars. So these are from the States and from some national parks. And my husband and I are looking to hit a lot of national parks because the joy of being disabled is you get a free national park pass. So it's only 10 national parks, but I have a book to knit all the national parks as well. I think we're going to the Indiana Dunes or something this spring. So I got this from my sister, and it goes with a little bag. I got this bag, and then I got another bag that were with this. I bought these this summer when I was in Wisconsin. So I'll be pasting some of those. My husband was laughing. He was like, that looks like a lot of work. Like, it is, which is why I don't do a lot of paper piecing. But that's what's new that came into my sewing room this week. I do have another box coming, so there'll be another box of stuff coming next week. Oops. But I'm hoping to at least give you 1 or 2 finishes a week. I only give you 1 finish this week, and that was Taylor's quilt. But I hope to give you more. And I will be finishing more than that because I did finish more than that 1 quilt, but I'm not going to show it to you till February. So sometimes I finish more than 1 quilt, but I have to pretend that I didn't. Okay. So those are what's new that came into my sewing room. So what I started was the Scrappy Sweet Tooth, all these little Scrappy Sweet Tooths, as I mentioned. Fortunately, I'm covered in threads by making these, but threads look good on me. They go with everything. And this is that fabric that Nurse Taylor liked. She's like, I have compression socks that look just like this. Let's see. What do I have in progress? I am working on my English paper piecing placemats. Yes, they're cream. Yes, it's a bad decision, whatever. So I need 88 of these, 88 hexies, and there are 70 or 71 in here right now. So I think 2 more movies should have this player done, because this is my second of 2 placemats. Now, my husband is watching me make these while we're watching movies, and he was like, "Why don't you just sew them together?" I'm like, "I am sewing them together." And I said, "Well, it will probably take me 2 nights to finish this, 2 more movies to finish it, and then I'll probably need 1 more movie to take all the paper out," and that really confused him, not knowing what English paper piecing is. He's like, "Why don't you just sew it together?" I'm like, "I am sewing it together." And he's like, "But isn't the paper in there forever?" No. Trying to explain English paper piecing to a non-sewer is interesting. I'm like, "It's a historical technique." And he said, "Well, bike riding is a historical method of transportation." Yeah, but people still do it because they enjoy it, even though we have cars. I was like, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, I guess people still ride a bike to get places that a car won't go." And I'm like, "Oh, it helps you piece things that you can't piece otherwise." So anyway, I'm almost done with this, and I can't wait to quilt it. And it's the start of a new project happening for me in 2026, and I'll show you when that gets going. Let's see, what movies have we watched in the last couple nights? We watched Venom 2, Carnage, and Waterworld. My husband and I had never seen Waterworld. We're just going through what Stars is getting rid of, like what's leaving Stars soon. So whenever I do English paper piecing, I usually write the name of the movie that I'm watching on it. I could also write Steelers lost against the Browns, because I was doing this while watching that game, or listening to that game on the radio, which wasn't fun. So let's see. That's what's in process. And I have some knitting in process. I'm working on a dotted rays scarf, which I can't show you because it's on my kitchen table and it has a drop stitch. So I have it open, waiting for me to get in with the crochet hook, but I didn't want to move it to get that stitch more dropped. So those are my in process things. Purchases new, what I started, what is UFOs, what I finished. Oh, so one thing I did this week is I went back and I refreshed Color Blocks Volume 1. For any of you who've been quilting along with Color Blocks, that's me cutting my scraps into 2.5-inch squares, sewing them into 16 patches, and then making quilts out of them. So I did this yesterday. Let me see if I can pull it up. Talk amongst yourselves. Where's the video? I made a video, and we're at Color Blocks Volume 1. And let me see if this will play. This one, is it going to play for me? This is going out over social media. If anyone hasn't joined Color Blocks, this is
Are
a
your
class.
fabric scraps taking over your...
There we go. So let me play this for you. Let's see if this goes. Share. Window. Here. Hopefully this will put the noise on.
Are your fabric scraps taking over your sewing space? It's time to turn your scraps into stunning quilts with Color Blocks Volume 1 from Debbie Brown. This class teaches you how to make simple 8-inch color blocks from your scraps, then mix, match, slice, and dice, and piece them into 14 unique quilts. Each quilt shows just how versatile one block can be. You'll get step-by-step patterns, helpful planning pages, and machine quilting tutorials designed for your home sewing machine. No fancy equipment required. Whether your scraps are color sorted or totally wild, you'll learn how to use what you have and turn leftovers into finished quilts. Go to DebbieBrownQuilts.com, enroll in Color Blocks Volume 1, and get started. Happy quilting!
So hopefully that played for you and the noise came through. Please let me know if the sound played. But I just put that together and I refreshed the class, and there's a new entry page on it, and I cleaned up a lot of the content in there. So if you haven't joined Color Blocks Volume 1, this is a great time to do that. To get started, it has everything you need to know about cutting your scraps. It's a great time to start working with scrap quilts, because who isn't trying to get rid of their scraps in January. So that this year I do not have a new color blocks quilt class. What I'm going to do, I have 5 volumes of color blocks. That's the only class that's filled, that's finished, and I'm gonna be working on the backlog content and finishing the rest of the classes. So, and then I have more color block stuff coming, but I figured I would take this year to concentrate on finishing, because of all of those UFOs. A lot of them are color blocks this, color blocks that. Joan worked perfectly. Thank you. Technology, not always my friend, so I need to know. I was playing with it yesterday and I'm like, I didn't really like my voice. And I tried to put music underneath it, but I couldn't get my voice loud enough or the music soft enough to go together. They were a little too close together. So you could just got my voice. Anyway, that's what I did. So I finished a quilt. I did that color blocks. Promo. And then what is coming up? What is coming up? Here Be Dragons is a mystery quilt that I just cut another one. And in the mystery quilt class, I've updated some of the content. So this is my new fabric pool, and this is Book Club by Figo. I used a plain cream, a white print that's small to medium, a medium pink print, a small aqua print, and a medium charcoal print. Those are my 5 colors. And I could have picked white to go in here because this is technically white fabric, but I think white would have been too white. So I picked cream to go in. This is my new fabric pool. And then I went through and I'm making another quilt from my handouts just to make sure the handouts are right. So one thing I did is I just pulled out a bunch of paper plates as I was cutting. They're in piles on my table, but I have clue 2. Because clue 1 is cutting. So I have clue 2, clue 3, clue 4, and reveal. And that way I can put all the pieces and stack them in place because they're all over my counter right now. And I want to stack them up nicely so that I can work from it evenly. So if you have some paper plates, you may want to do that. Now, I had said originally that this was not suitable for directional prints. My third fabric number 3, I picked a directional print this time. This is Book Club. Isn't that really cute? And this is directional. My husband helped me grab all the fabric out because I'm not bending well. But I realized that one of the places in the quilt you can use directional fabric, but only on number 3. Fabric number 3 is good for suitable for directionals if you want a directional print in there. And I don't know if you can tell, but in here on both of my fabric pools, I went from light to dark. So I went from lightest to darkest in the fabric and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's my new fabric pool. And I'll be spending this afternoon listening to my books and piecing up another quilt after I put away all the stuff I got out to show you. So that I can't wait for you to join me on Saturday, this Saturday. There is a more than 0% chance, but less than 1% chance that I'll have to move this. Sadly, we had a death in the family. We're waiting on funeral details. But I'm thinking if we haven't heard yet, the funeral's probably not Saturday, if we have to go out of town. But like 99% chance I'll be here on Saturday, and I will be here at noon, 1, 2, 3, and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. And at noon in the class, I will turn on the cutting instructions. That's clue 1. Clue 2 is piecing. Clue 3 is piecing. Clue 4 is piecing. And then clue 5 is your reveal. I will do a live video just like this one on Facebook and YouTube. And at the beginning of each hour, talking about each clue. And then we will, the clue will go live each hour. And it's a quilt you can finish in an afternoon. This is one of last year's quilts. This was Blanket Fort. And I put it up because it's the only one that it was finished. What do we do after we do Here Be Dragons? You then join the 30 days from Quilt Top to Quilted. Now, last year I had 21 days from Quilt Top to Quilted. If you joined that, you're already in. You don't have to join anything. You don't have to pay anything. But what I've done is I've taken the content off. I'm refreshing, reworking, expanding it, and putting it back out in 30 lessons, which will not be every day. It'll probably be like 4 to 5 days a week, starting on Tuesday, January 6th, during one of these Facebook Lives. So if you're already in from last year, great. If you're not in, I have a 50% discount until the day we start, where it's going to be $15 rather than 30 for 30 lessons of how to prepare your quilt, how to quilt your quilt, and this is all on a home sewing machine. It's going to be walking foot quilting, free motion quilting, and it'll be a really nice reference course for you about how do I make a knot? What happens when my thread breaks? How do I clean my machine when I'm done? Different things you need to know about machine quilting. So I have a really fun winter planned for us, going with this mystery quilt. Here Be Dragons, or you can go back and buy last year's pattern if you want to make that one too. That pattern was free last year, and then it was $10, but right now it's $5. So if you haven't purchased it yet, if you're not already in it, because again, if you get it when it's free forever. Um, the pattern's on sale for $5, and then in the 30 days from Quilt Top to Quilted, I will be working on the Here Be Dragons quilt and the Blanket Fort quilt. And here's where I would love for you to do me a favor. I have hundreds of quilters already quilting along, but I would like more. So if you could take the link for Here Be Dragons, let's see, Patty. During the hour sewing, are we able to text in a question? You can ask your questions during the live video each hour. You can text that in. And otherwise, you can go to Debbie Brown's Machine Quilting Studio on Facebook and ask me questions there. I'm going to post the link here for the Here Be Dragons Mystery Quilt Along, and ask if anyone would want to please share this with your people. If you have a quilt guild, if you have this on if you have social media, share this with more people quilting along. It was really, really fun last year. And again, we're really sad at the passing of my husband's uncle. He was, it was not unexpected, but very sad that my husband's father lost his brother. And, it's just a loss. So there's a very, very, very slight chance I'll be out of town, and have to move it. But it's about that big of a chance. It's a more than 0, but less than 1. But please, pass that along, and then we can go into the 30 days from Quilt Top to Quilted, and then I already know what's next from that too. So it is great for my brain that I'm finally back at work after being sick. Apparently, it took me a full 2 years to get over being sick. But I'm back and doing all new things. Patty, great, got it. Nice to have a friend, you to sew with. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's why we're going to talk together every hour. You can also post in Debbie Brown's Machine Quilting Studio if you want to post your fabric pools. I'll be posting mine later. I just took the photo and updated the class, but I didn't get it into the Facebook group yet. So dates for you to know. This Saturday, January 3rd, join us for the quilt along, for the mystery quilt along. Now, if you can't quilt that day, like if you have plans, like important plan, like your daughter's wedding, like nothing else is important, then you'll still have the pattern and you quilt along later. But these are the quilts that I'm going to be going into 30 days from Quilt Top to Quilted. That starts Tuesday, January 6th. I released the first lesson. These will be going out on social media. They will be going out in my newsletter. I'll be going out in my blog, etc. And I will be talking about each of them in my Facebook Lives on Tuesdays, Facebook and YouTube Live on Tuesdays. So we'll get to quilt along and see if we can get our goal of finishing our quilts this year. Is that anyone's New Year's resolution? I didn't write down to talk about this, but it is New Year's. I do have a New Year's resolution to get the UFOs down, to get a lot of this. Just finish this stuff. And since I like sewing, that's not a hard commitment to keep. But I do have, I've had a word of the year, I've had New Year's resolution. So my word of the year is actually 3 words. It's make more art. So you can see what's coming up with that, because I have a whole thing for that. I did some trunk shows at the end of last year and showing all of my little art quilts that I've made, and realized I haven't made any art quilts since I got sick in 2022. So yeah, it's time, and it's going to be a priority to make more art to feed my soul. Is that mean starting something new and making a new UFO? Yes, it does. But I learn things whenever I work on being creative like that, and I'm looking forward to it. So I hope to see you here on Saturday for 5 live videos as we work through Here Be Dragons. And I hope to see you here again Tuesday, 2:30 New York time, Eastern time, for my weekly Facebook Live and the kickoff of 30 Days from Quilt Top to Quilted. So I just want to thank you for being such wonderful friends through the past many years, through this year and many years past. I'm looking forward to spending more time with you in 2026 as we create together and commiserate together of like, oh, where did all these scraps come from? Or, oh, what do I do with that? Or celebrate each other's achievements. So I want to thank you for being in my life last year, and I'm looking forward to spending another year with you. I will see you again on Saturday and on Tuesday for Here Be Dragons, 30 Days from Quilt Top to Quilted, and my weekly Facebook Lives, Facebook and YouTube Lives. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and happy quilting until I see you again.